All right, it's November 11th, 2025. This is a little bit of a preview and a walkthrough for the 5th Applied Active Inference Symposium happening from 12th to the 14th of November for the YouTube viewers, listeners out there, and to give a little visual overview. So here I am in the program, which is a link that has been sent to you by email if you registered and in the video description. Top page has some overall information about the symposium. It's online. It's free. There's no need to register at this point. Same material is available after the fact. Presenters, links to the abstract book. Here is a PDF that you can download, blocked in my browser, but a Zenodo publication with the abstract book. And the first table is the card view of the presenters, the keynote address by Carl Friston, those who will be presenting in the live stream sessions, some more tool-oriented workshops, and those who have submitted a pre-recorded video. And that will also be played on the live stream. But just to be clear that those are pre-recorded. This next table is a timeline view. Let's make it a little more visible. So here is a chart view, different sessions in different times. And then the abstract table for each of the presentations. All right, back to the first page. That's what you can expect to see. There's some more pages. There's first, if you want to watch the live streams, those are the embedded YouTube videos here, or they're linked out there, or you can watch it directly in Coda. More links. There is public participants. So this is on the registration form. We asked whether people were okay with sharing their responses publicly. And for those people are represented in this table. There's also the GitHub Active Inference Institute Symposium repo. And if you run the symposium.sh script, you get a terminal option. Checks your environment. Then you can list available data, analyze the 2025 participants, generate summaries of the columns and the different questions, create background research, personalized curriculum, and some visualizations that are across the whole cohort. So here in Data, Input, AIF 2025, this is the public data table that is available here, which maybe at the end of this short stream we'll look through manually. And then the outcomes are of two different kinds. There are visualizations that have the PCA embeddings and some other simple language analyses. And then there are the column summaries. So these are LLM generated summaries of some of the columns that we'll look at. And there are the people folders. So people folders have they use methods in this repo for OpenRouter and for Perplexity calls. Using Perplexity with Internet Research and LLM, there's a background file on each participant with their public information. So here's Bird to Fry. And then there is, we can see how good or useful this is, but as a sort of appetizer for generative AI and education, profile analysis and curriculum personalized development. So just as an example, there's other repos at the Institute, not going to be explored here, with more tuning on custom curriculum, but fun way to look within and across different participants' areas of interest. And we'll look more at that because I haven't looked through this table and maybe there's some fun things to talk about. Join the Institute Discord. to chat with others. You can jump into the voice chat at any time during the symposium or otherwise, and we can continue the discussion asynchronously. Here's the GitHub repo with all of the methods for generating the personalized curriculum in the background and the visualizations. There's a 3D adventure space, which Pablo's session is going to go into more detail in. Let it load in the background a little bit. Oh, let it load on the side. Interesting. More information on the Institute ecosystem, previous symposium, some more general links, and other pages here. Symposium program, top level, that's all the links that you want. Presenters, that is the tables we looked at. Registration data, doesn't really matter at this point, so I'll hide it. Public participants, we'll look through that. And then the sponsors. Navigating Uncertainty with Anna Pereira and Upcycle Club by Harris Neophytou. And we'll acknowledge them in the opening live stream as well. And then the last tab is more information about the Institute. Here is a 3D space. Pablo's session is going to go into more detail on this session and what they did at their game development approach that they took here. Just in closing, while we leave that figure 7.3 partially visible, these questions that are asked in the public participant registration form. There's person's affiliations and contact details, their background. First question here, what would be useful for you in the symposium? Pragmatic value. What would be interesting or informative for you to learn from the symposium? Epistemic value. How are you applying active inference? We'll move that to the first question. What are the biggest hurdles or challenges facing active inference research? What would help you learn and apply? How did you hear about the symposium? How could active inference applications make impact in 2026? Any other comments? So let's, and those are summarized in word clouds and in LLM response. So, for example, the summary of this first question, how are you applying active inference? What domain or stage? That is summarized in the outputs, column summaries. First, markdown. Summary information on the question, and then some summaries. So, to the extent these are public, and there's other information that one could draw on as well, this is one way to summarize some perspectives and different things people are working on, different challenges people are having. What would be useful for you in the symposium? Introduction, academic and industry context, conceptual upskilling, seeing how active inference is applied. Broad sampling, insight into tools for robotics, design reviews, follow up on IY, references to papers, contact data. Okay, what would be interesting or informative? Software, Bayesian mechanics, see what other companies are doing. Clear statement of how active inference is the basis for wholly new AI and how LLMs or SLMs can be integrated into active inference-based AI. Examples of how active inference can frame non-human systems. Proven studies, practical demonstrations, collaborative exercises, showing how to operationalize active inference in real-world contexts, especially in education, science communication, and AI-assisted reasoning. Current applications and methods, basic introduction to modeling. Cool. Okay. What are the biggest hurdles or challenges facing active inference research and application? Collaboration and noise in the AI arena, people guarded and cautious about generalizing claims, rightfully so. But epistemological squishing is happening at a time when we should be openly discussing and exploring together. It may not yet be so clear what active inference can offer to traditional academic disciplines and established university departments. There's much rhetoric around the non-refutability of active inference framework, that it is a useful metaphor only, that brains don't compute, etc. The apparently sparse empirical support so far is problematic, but there remains the practical and experimental barriers to finding a killer theory prediction data support refutation instance. It would be good to have a clearer roadmap to its potential impact in creating novel clinical interventions also. I would be excited to know how this is progressing. Wow, so many things to read in this. Showcase against current methods. Don't know enough of scope to have an opinion. Make connections between software methods and specific applications, critical mass of practice. To be understood. Bridging theory and practical implementation. Good question, will consider. Awareness. Coordinating with domain experts with quantitative methods. Finding researchers that are geographically close to me. Okay, what would help you learn and apply active inference? This is where hopefully there's already an existing resource from the Institute or out there in the ecosystem, or it's kind of like a target that this is like something else somebody is searching for, foraging for. So, collaboration opportunities. Market education on active inference to developers, online course or resource. Tools and resources, resources and tools, tools and shared research questions. Textbook group, minor mentorship. Discuss what I learn and get feedback on ideas and prototypes, some bi-monthly cadence to update on research project. Online community directory, also K-12 level educational materials. Working examples in Python shared open source. Funds to free up time to think and learn in tools. A group for shared interest in active inference, a mentor to evaluate progress. Semi-formal languages in which to describe conceptual models. Learning by coding. Open source factor graphs. Tools and resources. Resource and tools. I am new to active inference and want to get a feel for the field. Information, collaborations, tools. Tutorials, applications, practical toolkits, simulation environments. Engineering playbook. Edge first reference stack. Benchmarks for identity and security. Working group on identity and security. Executive primers. Resource and tool. Computational tutorial. GUI-based RxInfer type app with clear instructions on how to build generative models compatible with active inference and estimate them using data. Okay. And last piece on this short stream, and then I'll check the chat at the end. How could active inference applications make impact in 2026? Think big. I think active inference genuinely offers a path to a more elegant and organic form of AI that will serve the synergy between humans and machines far better than the one that destroys the planet by adding more legs to a caterpillar, hoping it will fly. I see nuanced definition of non-Markovian as a non-dual field integral, not a linear chain of more nests. Change the way we think about moral problems in and out groups. I could imagine active inference having a big impact in 2026 if a simplified model existed that people outside of academia could engage with. We are in the early stages of developing novel clinical approaches. Theoretical, advancing understanding of motor learning and motor control, including motor impairment. More popularization in science press. Increase agentic automation performance by enabling LLMs to be uncertain about gaps in world model and first ask questions to reduce uncertainty via free energy principle before providing a solution or begin an automation process. Formalize meta-stability-based theories of chronic pain. I'm very interested in peace research, which is high demand in 2025. Agents for responsible case management in the public sector. Educational technology that adapts to individual learning styles. Reducing the cost of inference through organic emergent systems of self-representation and problem space-time navigation, thereby greatly reducing the barriers to entry for lesser resource communities to benefit from the boon of artificial intelligence. Active inference could shift the AI paradigm from optimization to self-organization. If we crack production-ready tooling, active inference could become the framework for building actual autonomous agents. Not LLM with tool calling, but systems that maintain world models and plan. Models could change the world through simulating and testing counterfactual events, providing insights into scientific discovery, treatment interventions, policy. The breadth of the active inference framework provides this broad scope and fostering of interdisciplinary collaboration. Make easier the bolts, framing connections among nature-human organization, AI, computational intelligence as overall architecture of disorder management. Business, operating, legal, technical, social, bolts. We need to think about human-centric value generation, highlighting key application domains and publishing a high-profile paper. By announcing a strategy to unite smaller nations, AI hubs, family offices, foundations, institutes, associations, and alliances to build the next big thing in AI with active inference, a key part of multimodal, edge-focused, highly efficient regenerative AI. Raising awareness of potential uses in AI application, spatial web. By creating empathetic AI systems, adaptive learning environments, and decentralized agents capable of self-regulation and social cooperation. Our core effort is understanding what active inference really is. Provide agentic alternatives to LLMs. Active inference could be applied to critique and improve the foundations of active inference recursively. Change the world. Study love and social dynamics from first principles to support access of active inference framework to establish professors with active posts and projects. How AI is used by regulome network machines. Link research models to practitioners to impact policy. So, that is just a few pieces of it. Hopefully this is a bit of the flavor for participating in it. There will be those live streams. There will be fun play in this space, Discord for chat, and lots of ways to get involved to improve the symposium every year. So, thanks for watching. Thank you, Upcycle Club, for supporting. And you wrote, very much looking forward to the symposium. Indeed, so am I/we. See you later. Thank you. Bye.